Destiny is kind of a big game. It means a lot to Activision, it means a lot to Bungie, and more importantly, it means a lot to the millions of people exposed to it with this game's heavy marketing and current appeal in the industry. Bungie for the longest time has simply been known for Halo, and that's all well and good, but the developer has finally let loose with a new IP. Something they really think is special, something that they are clearly passionate about. Destiny is here, and it may or may not be everything you were hoping for. The premise of Destiny is ambitious, yet really simple. This is completely online, and it's meant to be played with others. You as the player choose from one of 3 classes to play as. You can be a Titan, a Hunter, or a Warlock, and this determines your later abilities, weapons, and armor. There's actually a plot to Destiny, though you may not actually pay much attention to it, assuming you play this game with a group of friends. Nevertheless, Destiny is about a universe where humans have advanced to live on other planets, but were then forced off those planets and back onto Earth by the Darkness. Other various alien species have also begun probing the planets and your home planet. You as a Guardian harness powerful attacks to fight back these forces. As I previously mentioned, you may not actually even follow this story, and if you do, be prepared for something that's not entirely engaging. The premise and lore and certainly the passion is there. It's easy to see how this universe could be deep, with fulfilling ideas and exciting plot advancements, and everything a sci-fi lover could ask for, but this just is not it. What it really is occasional cutscenes and a lot of dialogue during gameplay that really doesn't pull you in any meaningful way. A big part of this plot is explained by Ghost, which is a little robot you use for hacking, accessing travel, or illuminating dark areas. Ghost is voiced by Peter Dinklage, and while I do enjoy the actor, this is a poor performance that really feels phoned in, and if this performance is really what Bungie was going for, then they really missed the target.
Okay, the Skywatch is just on the other side of the steps. And it's surrounded by Fallen. Well, I'm ready if you are.
Luckily, Destiny can and is really fun to play. You spend a big portion of this game shooting things, and shooting feels quick and responsive. Hitting enemies always has solid feedback that really feels satisfying. All 3 classes have their own advantages and use abilities that are tailored to a certain playstyle. Chances are you'll fit in with at least one of these classes and really enjoy how one handles. I thoroughly enjoyed my Hunter class, utilizing my triple jump all the time to flank the enemy and hit them with my throwing knife. Actually, I just enjoyed triple jumping for the fun of it, really. Mission structure, while standard and formulaic, is actually incredibly gratifying. Almost every mission will have you following a certain path, killing enemies until you reach a boss, and it actually never gets old. The end boss always gives you one hell of a challenge, the kind where you and your friends put endless bullets into it. The payoff actually conquering it is one hell of an experience. And it just makes you go, okay, well, let's do another one. That's if you don't need to visit the main tower area where you will be configuring all your goodies for your next mission. Setting up new bounties or gearing up your Guardian, decrypting some new weapon drops, it really is a rinse and repeat process that seemed to only get better as time went on. Now, there's a decent variety of enemies and planets to explore, but there's not really a whole lot. Luckily, they're all pretty different. Each planet is actually entirely different. The environment, the colors, structures, pathways, landscapes, they're pretty diverse. Same goes for the enemies. Basically, you'll play enough to appreciate the differences while noticing that you've seen everything in a really short amount of time. Destiny also has some PvP modes you can play, and it does work, but that's really about it. There's nothing entirely exceptional about it, as you've got your standard affair of modes to play, team deathmatch, free-for-all, capture and holding points. It's pretty straightforward. If you enjoy how the game plays during PvE, then that same style transfers over, and you might appreciate that more. Though it does cause some balancing issues when you have the 3 player classes fighting each other with all their abilities. You'll also notice that rewards given post-game do not actually reflect the performance from that match. You can be the best player and receive nothing, while the worst player got a legendary drop. It's irritating rather than fair.
Zone C lost.
With all of this said, Destiny is fun. The big problem, however, is how Bungie has decided to handle player progression. Your character has a soft level cap of 20, and you're going to hit this soon. If you finish all the story missions, a few strikes, and a few bounties, you're gonna hit it in under 15 hours easily, and that's being generous in my opinion. In order to exceed this level cap, you need to attach armor that has light experience, and getting armor like this is not going to be easy. You're going to want legendary or exotic armor, and the chances of it dropping during a mission is pretty low, and I mean really, really low. You could buy some armor in the hub world, but that's going to require an obscene amount of Vanguard marks or Crucible marks, which are acquired by playing certain strike missions or multiplayer. These strikes can take a good amount of time and strategy to finish, and you earn very little Vanguard marks. Then there's the fact that you can only earn so many Vanguard marks per week. With high weapon cost, a cap on your earnings, and earnings requiring hours of playtime, you're looking at a huge time sink to possibly buy one set of armor, or grind over and over hoping for a drop that will give you something good. And when the odds are against you by that much, you lose all interest or drive to progress in Destiny's truly compelling gameplay. And that's really odd, because the journey to level 20 is really great. You're leveling up, you're constantly changing your armor and weapons, and you feel true progression and satisfaction. Hit that cap, and you're playing something entirely different. That's where you may like or hate what Destiny is going for. It's really a question of how much you tolerate or even enjoy grinding. Or perhaps you don't need that sense of progression and reward, and you're happy playing the game for what it is. And that's fine, because it is still fun. But this game becomes a different beast after a short amount of time. And for me, it's one I don't completely agree with. Perhaps an even bigger element to Destiny which makes critical reviews of this game a bit hard is that it's ever changing. There's already been a lot of notable additions and changes to this game since its launch not that long ago. And Bungie has a huge commitment in place for this game with tons of end content planned. You can really tell the passion is there with Bungie. For example, Bungie released its first raid, a specific mission that requires you to be a very high level. You also need 6 players, and you can't even matchmake to meet other players. The raid requires precise teamwork, and it doesn't give you much context on how to be completed. Bungie essentially just created a large piece of content they know not many people are going to actually be able to play. You might not agree with that, but if that doesn't demonstrate their dedication to this title, I don't know what does. So it's not exactly easy to assess this game in a final manner. There will be more content to play, and it may receive tweaks to the existing drops or the leveling system, I'm not entirely sure, but it should be something to consider when looking at this game now, and possibly 8 months from now. This is definitely a title that strikes a chord with certain people and not so much with others. Destiny is a good game, though there is notable problems that keeps it from being something that is undeniably fantastic. That could change, but that all depends on Bungie's own destiny.